All right, what's up? Tim Sykes here. Sorry I couldn't post or even make this video earlier. It's just been a crazy few days, crazy few weeks for me. Congrats to so many people. Literally, normally I have like a few dozen, sometimes at best like a few hundred, really amazing testimonials. Today, I think we might have crossed over 1,000 plus. I'm not even going to get into all of them. You guys know who you are. I mean, you can pretty much buy any hot stock and it's going higher for the most part. Not all of them. It's not, as easy as that. For the day, I made around 8,000 on the day, which is, pretty good. But if you look at my recent video lessons, yesterday I made around 10 grand and the day before I made around 10 grand. I don't have a specific goal. Some people are like, oh, your goal is just to hit 10 grand and then you leave for the day. No, I take it one trade at a time. I haven't been trading that great this week. There have been tons of opportunities. I've been selling a lot of them way too soon, from DLOC to AITX and now today with ALYI. I'll go over those in a second. But do me a favor, I'll link these other video lessons right next to this video. It really helps to judge the market and review everything day by day because different stocks, different days have characteristics that you have to take notes on. And you really have to just get used to them and adapt. And some days, you can be more aggressive. Some stocks, you can be more aggressive. Some plays, you have to be less aggressive. And, it also depends on who you are. This is what makes trading so difficult. Like it's not just, hey, buy any hot stock. You also have to figure out, okay, are you better at buying morning spikes or morning panics? Or maybe you like shorting first red days. Maybe you like holding for 15 minutes. Maybe you like holding for 3 days. We're all a little different. And my goal is just to try to show you what I've learned over the years, rules, characteristics, patterns, lessons. Because remember, I never had a teacher. So I'll link these other videos. Also, please, please, please use this tool. I've been linking it a lot. It has really been a game changer for me. It's pretty cool that, where are my trades? I have too many windows open. Here are my trades, $88,000 on the day, but for the month, 256,000. Now, all of which will be donated to charity. Remember, I donate 100% of my profits to charity because I want you to understand my priority is on teaching you. I'm not like some of these chat room yahoos who take big ass positions. They tell their whole chat to buy and then they sell, a few seconds later. That's not really a strategy that's going to be useful for anybody else except the guru. Okay. So for me, I actually write out my alerts. I don't want you following my alerts. I don't want you following anybody's alerts. I want you understanding the mindset and I want you learning in real time so that you can see how fast these stocks spike. I sell too soon. I trade cowardly. I trade scared. Hate me, rip on me, call me a coward. I don't care. I've been doing this for 20 fucking years. Okay. I've had good months. I've had bad months. Right now it's a hot market. All my lessons, all my plans, all my patterns are working. I just want you to be able to capitalize. So please watch these video lessons, but also use this new tool on Stocks to Trade called the Breaking News tool. And it's 2X hedge fund traders who come up with like the best news. They don't deliver all the news. I mean, that would just be a ridiculous fire hose of information, but they curate the news. And this is just beginning. There's going to be upgrades. It's going to be like color coded so you can see which news is more meaningful. It's awesome. But we just got started and it has really played a huge role in my trading lately. Literally, I would say over 100,000 of the 250,000 that I've made this month is because of this tool. So I'll post a link to this. It's going up in price soon too, by the way. So, I would highly encourage you to get in on this initial deal. It should be priced at like 5 to 10 times as much. I think they're just going to double the price in a few days, like in July. So you have a few days to get it. Please, utilize it. Let's go over some stocks though. So, long story short, just to recap, pretty crazy month. Okay. And also I got to give props to a few students. Taylor, nice job on WKHS. This was Terry making 40% on EKSO. Kristen, first 4-digit profit. That's awesome on KTOV. Congrats. Here is Khalid, making what, like 25%, $1,000 on EKSO. And that's awesome. And then also, oh, this guy.
Everyone, my name is Matt Monaco. I'm a trading challenge student of Tim Sykes. Doing a quick midweek update for everyone. Just passed $75,000 in profits for the month of June this morning. Absolutely crazy. New best month, 50% bigger than my last month, which is so awesome. The number sounds surreal coming out of my mouth, but the point I want to make here is this is going on my third year in the trading challenge. So this didn't happen overnight, not even 2, 3, 6 months ago. It's going on my third year, worked hard every day, studied every day. It takes a long time. It's a long process. So if you're out there, keep studying, keep grinding. I know it can seem discouraging, but if you just stick with it, anything's possible. So keep that hustle up, and let's end the month strong.
So I just want to include that because Matt Monaco is a great young trader, just graduated college last month, which is crazy. Last month he made 48,000, which was insane considering like he missed I think like a third of the trading days because he was taking finals. And the previous month before that he made 19,000. So we went from 19,000 on the month to 48,000. Now this month he made this video for me yesterday. I didn't even get a chance to look at it. That's how far behind I am. When he made this video, it was up 75,000 for the month, but he made another 5,000 today, just trading low-priced runners. And, you know, follow him on Twitter, Mono Trader, great guy. And the crazy thing is we actually filmed, while he was also graduating college, just because he's a multitasker, we filmed a 30-day boot camp, which I think we're releasing next week. So stay tuned with that. But it just goes over day by day, some basic knowledge, going over the basic rules, going over the basic patterns. And, you know, I think it really actually helped just him going over it with me, helped him. Obviously, the hot market helped him too. But I like showing you this because, yes, he's in his third year as my student. Yes, he studied hard. He didn't have much success in year 1 or year 2. So if you're not having much success right away, that's okay. Just try to learn from everything that's happening. Remember, Tim Grittani, who's now over 12 million in profits, he made nothing his first 9 months. So you have to learn how this volatility works. You have to learn how the patterns work. You have to be right sometimes. You have to be wrong sometimes. You have to be too aggressive. You have to be too conservative. And it's always kind of a moving target. And you're finding what works best for you. And now, you know, mono trader making, you know, roughly $5,000 a day, 80 grand this month, and the month isn't even over yet. So props to him and thank him for making the video. And so many other students too. Here's George, VXRT, making 80%. Oh, that was that video.
Matt Monaco.
Anyways, I'm not great with technology. Let's get into some stocks. Congrats to everybody. I'm sorry if I missed you. There's really way too many. Oh wait, one more guy I wanted to congratulate. I lied, 3 more guys, or 3 people, just because, you know, what I've heard from my millionaire students is what really encouraged them to study all my DVDs, video lessons, webinars the most was seeing other people succeed. Like a lot of people think I'm full of BS. A lot of people think you don't have to study. So me showing this, like, yeah, I'm congratulating, you know, these students on their success, but I'm also showing other people what you can get when you study hard. So here's Karen, past $10,000 in net profits on the month. Hope I don't mess up the rest of June, but rather make more. Miguel, first ever $500 day with 2 trades, SHIP Morning Panic and KTOV Breakout. Thanks, 3 months as a challenge student. And Henry L, who, if you're in my challenge, you know, Henry L always asks me questions. And, you know, nearly $4,000 on the month, 4 times his best month of just up 1,000. And I know it may seem small, but, you know, big things have small beginnings, okay? And the key is learning how to grow a small account and scale it over time. You take bigger positions after you learn, you know, your favorite patterns. Like here's Miguel, SHIP Morning Panic. This was his, well, after hours it's tanking because it's just a pile of crap. But so you can't really see it. But right in here, it had a morning panic right at the open from 30 cents down to 26 cents, and he caught this little bounce. And it wasn't the biggest morning panic, but it was a little something, and he took it. And that's his pattern. You know, there are other morning panics too. After hours, literally absolute terrible company. And that's another thing. I need you guys to understand that we're just trading the volatility here. Expect all of these companies to go to zero. Expect them to be all worthless. Ignore anybody who says, oh, but they have this upcoming product. Oh, but they have this new revenue stream. Oh, it's all BS. And the sooner you can accept that, I know people say like, come on, Tim, you can't be that hard. You haven't done your due diligence. I've done 2 decades of due diligence in this niche. I know how all of this news can be fake, manipulated. The companies can sign a big contract and they'll screw it up somehow. Trust nobody. Expect the worst out of everybody. Okay? And I know that's a cynical way to think about things, but it really, really will save you from holding and hoping. And this is the number one problem I see with newbies. They believe in these companies. You know, maybe they have profits. Maybe they make 50, 100, 200% winners, which I don't have because I'm taking, 20, 30, 40% singles. But I take in those profits. I lock them in versus a lot of newbies. They go down with the ship, literally with this one, with the ship. So leave a comment underneath this video. I'm not done with it, but if by the end of this video you understand why you can't hold in hope. I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. I'm like stuttering right now. I'm trying to get this before I pass out. But do not hold in hope. Leave a comment saying, I will not go down with the ship. And I'm not just talking about SHIP, but in this case, it works pretty well. Same thing with IDEX. Like, I have nothing against IDEX. I have nothing against the promoters of IDEX. It's just an overvalued piece of crap. And you have to understand, I've traded this stock before, not when it was this company name, but when it used to be You On Demand. Okay, go back and look through my trades. Again, 2 decades of experience. I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about experience, and there's a difference. So this has run up before like this, but every time this stock goes up, 10 times, it's usually not a good idea. Okay, let's just look at a few other recent pumps. UAVS went from 40 cents, basically 30 cents to $5. Jackaroo, Kyle Williams, I think Grittani was also shorting this in the 4s, and it just bombed. MVIS actually held up its gains, but kind of just double topped here. MARK was a big promoted company. Again, I have nothing against MARK's technology. I just don't care. It's just totally irrelevant. What you guys have to understand is that these press releases, these contracts, it's all just a smokescreen. It's all just irrelevant compared to what's really going on, where the company is selling stock and financings. The insiders are selling at inflated prices. Sometimes, they just raise money and then they can pay the management's salary for a few years while they, pitch. They have like the miracle technology. MARK, this should have gone up a lot more. Instead of just tweeting about their new products, they should have put out press releases. If I was the promoter behind this stock, I would fire all the little mini promoters that this company hired, or insiders or shareholders hired. I don't know the specifics. I don't care about the specifics. What I do know is that this was pumped up blatantly. If you use the stocks to trade social media search tool, if you use the stocks to trade breaking news tool, you can see the pumps. You can see the blatant pumping. To the moon, it's going to $20. It's going to $100. It's the next Microsoft. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Okay? Congratulations on the 30 cents to $3. That's cool. 10 times your money. I was buying this, remember, in the 30, 40 cent area. I didn't have enough faith. I underestimated the promoters. The promoters really had never had very many successful promotions before, but they got the volume up. They kind of got a little lucky just with what was happening in the world. But now it's trying to hold on. Come on, promoters, put out a press release. I want these stocks to go as high as possible, okay? Like, there's these rumors that I short these companies. I don't short sell. It's not worth it. Remember, I donate all my profits to charity, so I want to make the most money. Short selling, for me, I don't believe is the best risk-reward strategy right now. It's a very crowded strategy. You have a lot of newbie shorts, and they create, short squeezes. You have a lot of powerful promoters using all kinds of technologies for promotion, from, stock twits to Discord to Telegram to WhatsApp to Twitter, Facebook. TikTok, I've seen some promotions. Like, it's all over the place. So I don't really want to go up against the promoters. I don't want the frustration. And even if I could somehow short sell profitably, and that way I could donate more money to charity, why do I want to be so frustrated? You're fighting such a huge trend of all the promoters and all their bots and all their little fake dislikers and their fake accounts. Like, it's a whole army of promotion. I don't want to fight that, okay? Also, remember, I prioritize teaching. It doesn't matter how good of a short seller you are. If you are a newbie, you are ill-equipped to deal with the risk shorting a play like MARK. So, I have no problem if you want to dip your toe in. It's just not for me, okay? MARK, I was buying it. What was the other one? I don't even know why I'm blanking. GHSI, that spiked up a little bit back here, but it couldn't really do much. KTOV is spiking. I mean, this is a good pump. All of these companies are pumps. Their press releases, their FDA approval, all of it. Just expect the worst. And I know that sounds crazy, but it will A, save you a lot of time, B, save you a lot of frustration, and C, lead you to profitability, okay? When I was buying ALYI today, yeah, it was good that, it was a first day breakout. I was buying it in here in the fives. It actually nearly tripled for my first buy alert. I didn't hold it the whole time. I was selling it a few too many times, but I did hold it into the close, and I am long this overnight. So I think that this was a really nice end of the day breakout versus TOMZ, which had a terrible breakout. So again, TOMZ has a nice multi-week chart pattern. It should be a breakout here, but it really has to break 149, 150. And it just doesn't necessarily have the volume. It just doesn't necessarily have the PRs. Like, even though I don't believe the PRs, even though I don't believe the research, I understand and respect that they can influence a stock and they can help it, especially when the promoters spread a press release everywhere. And they get paid to do it, either in cash or stock. The interesting thing is on IDEX, right? Like, again, I have nothing against these promoters. I want these promoters to do well. I want these stocks to go up as much as possible. If you give me, a good morning dip buy, frankly, I missed the morning dip buy on this. Right in here, when it dropped from basically 315 pre-market to, 230, I probably should have been dip buying this, but I was busy yesterday with some other plays. But if you give me a morning panic, I might dip buy it, but I want it to go up as much as possible because that will create a better panic, which can then lead to a better bounce. But I have nothing against the promoters. Unfortunately, the promoters on this stock, very sketchy stuff where they said, they personally didn't get paid. They got offered to get paid and they said no. But what they don't understand is that it's sad, but it doesn't matter who got paid. The fact that someone was even offering to pay for promotion means that this company is junk. Any single company, whether the insiders or the management or the shareholders or somebody is willing to pay for promotion, that means putting money or putting shares in exchange for promotional services. That means it is a pump, okay? So some people say like, Tim, but if this stock goes up so much, then will you say it's not a pump? No, it's still a pump. And again, I hope that IDEX goes to 10. I want the pump to be the best pump ever. That would make it more volatile. That would give me more trading opportunities. But when there are offers for paid promotional activity, that is a pump, because no company, aside from one company, what was it? The jeans company, True Religion Jeans. That was the one paid pump that actually made it because the jeans actually took off. But aside from that, literally thousands of other paid pumps, none have made it because you're diverting money or shares to promote the stock. Instead of, if this company actually had potential, they would put the money towards product. They would put it towards technology. They would put it towards, PR. Whatever you want to put it towards, at least building the company. But when you pay for promotion, okay, that opens the door to saying, wait a minute, why do we have to promote the stock? Also, let me just throw this out with IDEX, and I probably should be short this, but again, I don't want the headache. I just hope that it, has a big panic and I'll dip buy it. I have no problem. There should be some support here at $1.50, but with promotion, sometimes they just don't bounce. That's also a risk. But what I would say is, like, a lot of promoters say like, oh, we're scared of the short sellers, or like they're not even scared. They're angry at the short sellers. What I would say is, don't be angry. Don't be scared of short sellers. If you are a promoter, if you have a lot of money or shares, or if you have, the ear of the company where you can put out press releases, just create a giant short squeeze, get the stock down, get all the shorts riled up, and then issue some amazing press release and squeeze all the shorts, and that will lead to the highest price possible. Again, I'm on the promoter side. They might not realize it because it's my job also to teach how this niche works. But at the same time, I don't want the promoters to stop. I don't want the game to stop. I just want to educate you on how this game works. Okay? So no, I'm not shorting IDEX. But at the same time, I have to call out, paid promotional activity, especially when the promoters, whether they got paid or not, admit it. I don't care about individual promoters. I don't care about what they got paid. Again, there's so many different promoters over the years with so many different stocks. None of it matters. Okay, whether you were awesome penny stocks or best damn penny stocks or explosivepennystocks.com, there's a million different names. And now they just have new screen names, right? Now they're just using TV characters as screen names. It doesn't matter. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they trade. I don't care what their position size is. I am here to teach you how the game works. Okay? So this is a pump. Does that mean that the company is doing anything illegal? I don't know. I'm not an investigative reporter. I'm not a lawyer. I don't care. I just want volatility to trade. Okay? EKSO, this also has been pumped, but at the same time, I think a little bit of this run up, especially after hours, was a short squeeze. Because I also noticed that a few of the biggest short sellers were, holding and hoping. It applies to both longs and shorts. Some longs, watch their stock get crushed and then, they're holding and hoping and not doing anything about it. Some short sellers watch the stock go up and up against them and they still hold and hope. And I saw a lot of short sellers holding and hoping right here in the sevens, hoping that it would crack. And all it needed to do was crack. Look at this support here, 680, 680. Oh, you got the crack after hours to 660. Oh, wait, it's a fake out. And then it goes to the tens. So this is another thing where some people say, like, Tim, I could just learn all of this, basic technical analysis. I can learn it all for free. Good luck. As you'll learn, free info costs more because technical analysis, basic technical analysis does not work. You need to know the nuances. You need to know the intricacies of this niche. And frankly, again, 20 plus years of experience. I'm talking to a laptop. I might sound crazy. You might hate me. It doesn't matter. I have the knowledge of knowing what is going on. I probably talk to more newbies, more short sellers, more wannabe promoters than anybody in the entire world. This niche is what I'm connected to, for better or worse. So you want to short this and you want to hope for a crack of 680 and then you get the crack of 680 and you're doubling up on your shorts. That's actually the worst time to short so far. Okay, so this is more of a short squeeze. In case you're wondering, there's different kinds of catalysts. Sometimes it's a morning spike caused by a press release. Sometimes it's a morning spike caused by a press release and a pump. This is a short squeeze. When a key level cracks, stupid, just naive / unprepared short sellers short. And again, I have a right to be a little frustrated because I was one of the ones who really brought short selling penny stocks to the mainstream. When I first got started teaching, they said that it was illegal. It wasn't illegal. Most people are just liars in this niche. But at the same time, now a lot of these short sellers these days are like, you don't need to watch all of Tim Sykes' videos, just short anything that goes up. And they're getting decimated. They are getting annihilated lately. Why do you think they can't show their real names? Why do you think they can't show all their trades or their position sizes? They just show end of week screenshots or end of month screenshots, maybe on one account, and they're not even showing their other account. There's so many games that these traders play. Why do you think Profitly isn't very popular? Because we ask that you show all of your trades, and a lot of traders can't do that. I do encourage you, if you have any doubts or any questions about any trader who claims to make a lot of money, just ask them for their real name and ask them to show all of their trades publicly and see what happens. You'll get a ton of excuses. I've heard a lot of amazing excuses over the years. I don't know. I'm not the best trader. I'm not the worst trader, but you know my name. It's my real name, and you see all of my trades, for better or worse. Again, it's good for me to just be real and blunt as fuck in this industry full of fakes, frauds, newbies, promoters, and just naive short sellers. So congrats to EKSO longs. VXRT, also a short squeeze. I just don't know why short sellers would short these. I get it. It's up a lot from, when they were shorting it. Where did I see the short sellers? The short sellers were pounding the table right in here. They were shorting it in the mid fives, and then it went to the sixes. And then they're like, now is the time. I was wrong on this time, but now is the time to short. And it just keeps going up. And I'm just like laughing to myself. I'm thinking like, what kind of undisciplined, unprepared trader is shorting this in the fives and the sixes? And again, this is after hours. So, they might be right tomorrow, but why risk losing $1, $2? For all we know, this could open at 10 tomorrow. You just don't want to take unnecessary risks. Same thing with WKHS. This was a big short squeeze the prior day, and this has been a choppy stock. I really don't like chasing choppy stocks. Remember, I was buying this right here. It's funny to look back. This was when they actually had some really positive news, and I bought it, and it really just couldn't spike very much. I made some money on the dip, but I didn't even hold for this, after hours spike of $1 a share, and now the thing has doubled. So I'm not the best timer if you're looking for patience. I'm on the right track a lot of the time, like with WKHS, but I sold way too soon. DLOC, I bought this at 1.5 cents. The STT stocks to trade breaking news nailed the breakout here at 1.5 cents. I sold it at 3 cents. I mean, I doubled my money. Like, that's normally amazing. And then the thing goes to 19 cents. But I was dip buying it. I had a few dip buys along here. My best dip buy was right here at 9 cents. And it doubled into the close, and I sold too soon, making 25%. And again, this is the problem with the promoters, where they're just not going to tell you the whole story. Okay, I have nothing against them. I want DLOC to go up as much as possible. But when it fails to bounce much, and when it fails to spike much, and it's 24, 21, and the promoters are pounding the table, it's going to 30, it's going to 30. And it goes 21, 20, 19, 18, and the promoters are saying, it's going to 30. I mean, there are no signs that this is going to 30 again, at least right now. Maybe the promoters know of some upcoming press release. I wouldn't put that past them. Again, I don't know the whole legal, illegal situation. I don't want to know. I just follow the patterns and the price. And this does not look like it's going back to 30 as of yet. If they have a press release, if they have better pumping, I have no problems buying it again. I'm not shorting this stock. I would really caution anybody who wants to short stocks this low price. It's very, very risky. I know a few short sellers, again, the risky short sellers who like to avoid my warnings because they think they know everything after shorting for 2 or 3 years, but they really know shit. Guess what? Like where was it? Right in here. They were shorting it, on the crack at like 18, 19. I saw a few shorts and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's cracked to 30. Like, yeah, it's still up from 1, so it's up too much, but I just really wouldn't short it here. And, again, you could time it. There is a way to make money shorting if you're very, meticulous. Shorting it here 18, 19 and covering by day's end at like 9 or 10. But I know these shorts who shorted here at 18, 19 and they got squeezed because they held this whole time and they're like, no, it's going to close low, and it doesn't close low, and then it gaps up to 30 and they think that it's going to retest 35. So they shorted it here at 18, 19 and they covered here at like 29, 30, losing 50%. Love me or hate me, I'm never really going to lose 50% on a play unless I can get like halted, unless there's like an offering mid-trade. That's just terrible, terrible trading and terrible planning. So for me right now, I'm watching EKSO for a Friday short squeeze. I'm watching VXRT for a continued short squeeze. I'm watching SINT. This is another one that I'm watching here, and this one has been teasing here, this breakout in the 250s. After hours, it got back to the 250s. I'm watching this one closely. We'll see if it can get back to 3-ish, or if it's going to have trouble again, at 250 like it's had, on Wednesday here. I don't know. We'll see. I'm watching SINT. Low price plays, ALYI. I don't know how high it goes. This is just the first green day. Remember not to just chase and be greedy. I was buying this and alerting this in the 5s, in the sevens, and now the price has doubled or even close to tripled from my initial buys. But it is just the first green day, so it could keep going. It could be like the next, DLOC. I don't know how far it goes. GAHC, I should talk about for a quick second. Oh my God, this is a long video lesson. GAHC, this was alerted by their breaking news on stocks to trade, and this was a fantastic buy. But again, at the same time, you have to know, why is it up? It's not up because it's a quality company. It's up due to promotion, okay? And again, there's nothing wrong with promotion. I like promotion. I made money from promotion, okay? On GAHC, right here, this was one of my best trades of the day. I made roughly $3,000. Fantastic, okay? Fantastic alert from stocks to trade, breaking news. And frankly, I did... That actually was my best trade on the day. But I didn't overstay my welcome, and I didn't catch the top either. I actually wanted it to go a little further, but it was still up, 200% on the day. But I saw some people like, you're buying it at 1.5 and it's down to like, 0.5. So you're down like 60, 70% on your money, and you're still holding because you think it's a good company. Like, you got to learn to cut losses. Okay. Again, if you understand that, leave a comment underneath this video saying, I will not go down with the ship on any play. And if you're a short seller, that means I will not get caught in a short squeeze and go up with the ship. Short squeezes are flipped backwards. You really have to follow my rule number 1, cut losses quickly. No matter who you are, no matter what your strategy is, please do not just hold and hope. I see like this misguided thinking where you're like, oh, don't worry, it's going to come back. Let me just average up or average down. And sometimes, you're right. Sometimes it does come back, but that's a low odds strategy that works 20, 30, maybe 40% of the time. It does not work the majority of the time. And I just don't want people, taking a low odds strategy. The high odds strategies are morning dip buys. Or shorting first green days. I haven't even shorting first red days. My bad. CYDY, this has gone up so much more. I was buying it right here on this first green day. I totally underestimated it. Congrats to longs. Again, beautiful chart breakout, beautiful short squeeze, but do not think that this is up because their product is so good. Okay. 9 times out of 10, their product will fail. This company will fail. It will go to zero. I don't know when, but more than likely that will happen, okay? I would love it if some of these companies surprise me, but unfortunately, 20 plus years, I've learned a thing or two. I probably should have, given it more time on the breakout, but this one has always just been kind of a frustrating stock for me to trade. So if I have a weakness, that is it. It's impatience. But for you learning, my impatience is your gain. That's your benefit, because it means that the way that I make money might be, very safe and conservative. Okay. And you can be more aggressive than me. You can hold a little longer, if you want, on your gains. You don't necessarily have to lock it in. Maybe it's because I'm Jewish and I'm greedy and I like money and I like taking profits and I like donating the profits to charity. I don't know. I could definitely work on my patience, but I think it's probably a little too late for me to improve much because I'm just an old Jew now, and old Jews just get more stubborn and more out of shape every day. That's just who we are, and I'll just be real about it. So don't think that this, $250,000 in 1 month is best case scenario, because it's not. Okay, Tim Grittani has already made over $3 million in 2020, and he's more aggressive. Sometimes he, takes bigger losses, but he takes a lot bigger gains, and he lets the chart patterns play out. If you've seen his DVD, Trading Tickers, which is a must watch. But whether it's me making $256,000 this month or Matt Monaco making $80,000, I think Jack Kellogg is up around $100,000. I think Huddy is up around $80,000. Mark Crook, I think, is up around like $60,000 or $70,000. All of these guys are in the Trading Challenge chat room every day, and I can't recommend that enough. Some people say like, oh, I don't want to be in your Trading Challenge, and that's up to you. But all of my top students are coming from my challenge because they have this amazing community in the chat room where it's not just, buy this stock, buy XYZ. It's helping people learn along with 2 to 4 live webinars per week. And I'll link that if you want to apply. But please, if you're lazy, don't bother applying. It's nothing personal. I just don't get along with lazy people. Okay. A lot of people just want hot picks. They're not willing to study the past. They're not willing to study these chart patterns that I'm talking about. This is, even though this is a 30+ minute video, I mean, this is just a very brief overview because there's too many students, too many stocks, too many lessons. But if you want a calmer, educational experience, watch my DVDs, video lessons, webinars, all of that. It's not always going to be this crazy of a market. So I really want you to capitalize. So watch VXRT, watch ALYI, watch EKSO, watch WKHS, watch SINT. Those are, I think, my top watches. I'll type them out in this below too. So click some links below, watch the other video lessons, use the Stocks to Trade breaking news tool. And again, leave a comment underneath this video if you understand long and short. You cannot just hold and hope. You must cut losses quickly and don't go down with the ship. I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow. Cheers.